Hey, this is Asha. Thanks for joining me in today's video. And what I want to share with you in this episode is free traffic versus paid traffic and which one you should use as a new blogger or what makes sense for you. So stay tuned. All right, so there's a lot of debate between free traffic and paid traffic and which one you should go with. I think it really just depends on the person and the blog. There's a lot of pros and cons to doing both. So what I normally recommend is having both systems going in at once at the beginning. But the problem is if you do paid traffic at the beginning, you might not even have any products or anything created or anything viable for people to use on your website or within your business. So here's kind of the take. Let's look at something like this. Okay, when you do free traffic, it takes a lot of time and energy and resources like that. Sometimes it does take some money to get it going in order for you, let's say, writing articles, but you outsource those. It takes time, money, and energy to get things going, but usually a lot less cash, almost free, right? You're not paying directly for traffic. And then what happens is that people find you organically on different websites, whether it's maybe YouTube or Pinterest, whatever the website is, or Instagram, and then you get this traffic. So with time, your traffic kind of slowly starts growing and then picks up some speed and then goes again and picks up some speed. So it's kind of like a slow approach. And that's the typical free traffic. When you do paid traffic, the growth is usually a lot faster, but you have to fuel it with money. So here's money. You go in on a big platform or website and you pay your advertising rate, you show your ad, and then you get a bump in traffic. And then it's constantly kind of going and going and going, and you keep getting traffic as long as you're funneling it and feeding it with money. So that's kind of what happens with paid traffic. But the minute that this is cut off, your traffic dies down. With organic or free traffic, usually that continues to grow as long as you're just somewhat churning things and somewhat maintaining things. It's usually a lot easier to maintain the organic traffic. With paid traffic, you have to keep funneling and fueling it with kind of money, and that's kind of your fire, right? So it has to keep going. So when it comes to this, at the beginning, let's say you throw and dump a bunch of money right away. So if you take a look at, let's say, our courses and products right here. So here's the Backstage income, by the way. You could grab a lot of freebies on that website. But let's say I'm paying for traffic right away. And I'm going in, I'm saying, okay, I'm paying for traffic, but I have no courses. I have no products. I have no email newsletter list that people can click and grab a pop-up. So now I have no way to collect people's information. I have no way to be able to give people freebies. So here's all the freebies that I have developed. And I'm paying for traffic and I'm not really doing much with it. I'm just trying to get people to read my blog that's absolutely free. So what would be the point of that? Well, maybe to build trust and goodwill, but don't you want to keep doing more and more things beyond that? So in that case, if you're doing paid traffic at the beginning as a new blogger, make sure you at least have, at the basic minimum, a newsletter list. So that way you can reach out to those people sometime in the future. And by the way, you can check out all the resources I have on the resources page here. So at the base minimum, have there. And I would say at least have one or two products. Okay, and I say two because you have no idea if people are going to buy one or the other one, because you're still testing things out, because you're a new blogger. You don't know where people are going to go. And don't make the products too crazy expensive or too big, because you don't know if people are interested in them. You might have just wasted your time making those products. So make your products something small, simple, maybe under $100, and then see what people buy or don't buy. And over time, you'll keep building and evolving your product line and so forth. And that's really when the paid traffic is much more worthwhile, when you have something where I can say, okay, well, I'm spending, let's say, $10 to acquire a customer, but I'm selling a $97 product, so I'm still on top by about $87 minus maybe some other costs and so on. So I'm maybe getting about $60 at the end of the day per person that I bring in. And that's when paid traffic makes more sense. At the beginning, for a new blogger, I say, it's okay, but it's maybe more of something like a focus on a 20% paid traffic and 80% free traffic, because you need to build the organics. You got to focus on a lot more other things like content and just building the operation up. There's going to be building out the newsletter, building out the content, building out your team. There's going to be many more things. Later on, as you get better, you might decide to switch this. You focus 20% on free traffic and 80% on paid. And it's not an instant switch. Slowly the dial gets turned, from the 80, then it goes to the 70, and this becomes 30. Then it goes 60, and this becomes 40, and so on until the gears have switched. So it's kind of like with time, you might switch that concept and say, okay, well, I'm going to do more paid traffic because my free traffic's already established. And at least then you're getting traffic and it's consistent. So now you have a steady stream on average of about this many hits or visitors. So, okay, if you've got about that many hits or visitors, now if you can increase this as well, hits and visitors, that's going to really ramp things up for you as well. And because this is fueled by money, you always want to watch your expenses. What does it cost you to acquire a customer? What are you getting back? So you're always kind of looking at these kinds of numbers and formulas. So anyways, that's my take as far as if you're brand new to blogging, building things out, selling products online. Start with free and build those things out and nibble and dabble with paid. And with time, you'll probably shift those gears, because at the beginning, if you have no products, if you have no newsletter list, if you have nothing to sell, no services, then paid traffic may not be useful for you unless you kind of have the longer vision in mind. Like, what's the point? Building the newsletter list so that way later on I have some products and services? Okay, then maybe that might be worthwhile. But if you're just getting started, then in that case, it may not be worthwhile with paid traffic right away. Instead, start with free, and with time, you could go into the paid traffic realm. So thanks for joining me. Hope that helps, opens up your mind a little bit. Grab some of the freebies that I have on the website, clicking this link, and subscribe to the channel if you're brand new. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.